the Wrestling Mayhem Show. Since 2006, the pioneer in pro wrestling podcasting.
This show is brought to you by IndyWrestling.us and IndyWrestling.network for your independent wrestling entertainment. Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza.
Just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't give up what you want, take it back. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Do what you got to do, make it last. Wait for the perfect.
It is the Wrestling Mayhem Show, episode 907. Tuesdays, we've been talking about professionalized wrestling. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter, trying to figure out social media with our guest this week. Here in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And glad to be back. We did not have a show last week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We threw a throwback out there with somebody before they were known as Joaquin Wilde that was in here in the studio about 5 years ago. I thought it was cool to do a little bit of throwback since he had his first WrestleMania moment here this year at WrestleMania 40. And just, you know, and this was just weeks before I think he reported into NXT at the Performance Center. So as DJ Z, I think he might have been at the time. I don't know. He was went through. He was probably DJ Z before he went into it, right?
Where?
To WWE.
Considering what I'm watching now, yeah, he was DJ Z still in MLW.
That's right. Oh, really?
Yep.
That's the voice of referee George Ross is with me tonight.
Hello.
It's just the two of us tonight, George.
Oh,
It's okay. A low-key night.
three's a crowd, so it's a good
fine.
thing there's only two of us.
I mean, the Zoom line is open, so if they have the number if any of our co-hosts want to jump in here and have something to say. So, we'll see what's going on with that. But I think we got plenty to talk about here. You have a lot going on. You were at WrestleMania weekend.
So were you, Sorg.
I was at WrestleMania weekend. We did talk about a lot of my experiences and everything, but we'll get in here in a little bit about what your experiences WrestleMania weekend was. I know we at least shared one show, I think, the weekend. So
yeah, only one show together. But
yes, only one show together. And I literally realized yesterday it's the first one that we produced under the IndyWrestling.us banner.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we've never done that before. We've always been attached to other ones.
Yeah.
Brought in our production for helping out the 880 situation there as much as we could. I know it was a weird situation there, but yeah.
So the worst part, as soon as that show was done, I had such a fun weekend.
Me too. I was like, I have nothing. I have no more responsibilities. I'm just going to go have fun and watch wrestling.
Literally,
for the
next show I worked didn't even have a damn ring, so it was way less stressful.
Wow.
Yeah.
There is a point where there were some people talking about that ring that's the smallest ring I've ever seen.
I'm not gonna lie, the diamond setup really still had me going.
Yeah.
Yeah. First time I've seen that happen, it just still made the hard cam. Some of the hard cam footage looks super weird.
Oh, the hard cam was worthless.
Yes.
I was like, why didn't you put this on the stage?
That said, we should still give massive shout out and thanks to the guys at Smashmaster.
Absolutely.
For helping out, getting everything done. The fact that so the little situation, for context sake, for anybody who has not heard, this is why you should never, ever, ever, ever get into wrestling sometime. Scheduled bell time, 4 p.m. At the Ukrainian American Citizens Association, a.k.a. the Yuki Club. We got there at about 1:30. Apparently, we had talked to somebody who helped run the club, thinking we'd be able to get in early at 2. Mm-hmm. Well, they didn't let us in until 10 after 3.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So and I know there was a hope that you guys could get in. I followed up about a week before, and I was like, hey, what's the situation? Can I come in and set up this live stream for the show and everything? And they're like, oh yeah, you'll be at 3. I'm like, your show's at 4. It was like, yeah. I'm like, how are you setting up the ring in time, right? And I was like, I can't do this.
With an army, that's how.
I literally cannot do this and pull this off. So, and that's what it is. I mean, we showed up at 1 o'clock for a 7:30 show on Friday. And, there's still things that go wonky, right? Could you imagine if I tried to go in there and set up with an hour time?
No, this is why, when anybody says anything, given everything that happened. I mean, they even had us have to move from a portion of the locker room 15 minutes before the show.
Oh yeah.
Because there was a miscommunication about which portion we could change in.
Mm-hmm.
I guess through between the manager of the venue and the president of the actual like fraternal organization that oversees it. So yeah, like, but with everything that happened, I thought we pulled out like, you know, a pretty good effort despite everything.
This is the kind. I mean, this is not, you know, nobody here runs a show in Philly, you know, and I don't even think the Smash Masters from like Scranton or something, aren't they?
Yeah.
So you're trying to set this up. In indie wrestling, I don't think site visits are typical. For things like this, you know, if you're doing something out of town, you know, obviously, and it depends. I've worked with different levels of indie shows, and it was like, this has a thing. Okay, cool. Can we fit in a ring? Okay, but again, how many shows? There was another one.
We did actually do a site visit. Like, that's actually why.
Oh, there was.
Well, yeah, that's why we were in town so early.
Ah.
Yeah, so I don't know what in the heck somebody was trying to say. They were trying to say the room downstairs was 12 by 12. Or some kind of nonsense.
But the pillars, it's the pillars that made a difference.
Honestly, we could have set the ring up probably regular around the pillars anyway and still been fine.
Yeah,
there was enough room there.
Maybe.
But regardless, like,
it was a nice crowd though. You guys were the first one.
Okay.
You're a 4 p.m.
You got to be with everything. Somehow we still only managed to go 10 minutes over our time.
Wow.
Yeah, and like so we started. We started at 5 after we started at 4:05. We were done at 10 after 6.
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't care. I feel like the fans got a good deal of good deal of good action. You know, we got a little surprise defense of the Uncanny Championship from representing Uncanny Attractions with Billy Dixon and Marco Narciso.
Billy Dixon was a big thing on Ashe on Friday too. There's a big pull apart there. I think they've just put some clips up over on the Twitter page. That was we're going indie at the top of the show. We usually don't do this, but it's just kind of naturally happening. Yeah, I got to work with Darius Lockhart's promotion down in Charlotte. Ashe Wrestling. And the end was Darius Carter and Billy Dixon in one of the wildest pull aparts I've seen in a while. It was crazy. Big Swole's trying to calm things down. It was absolute madness. Really great top crew. It's only their third show. And this is like the kind of talent
they've
they're
only
doing
run 3 shows.
It's their third show.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, that's from all I can
How
tell.
have I known about them so long? Then?
Well, they do them every like 2 months or so.
But like still,
right?
I know. Like I've seen,
unless there's something I'm not aware of.
I've seen the gear around like for longer than that. I feel
because some
like
of our people go down and film. So
yeah, but no, like I don't think it wasn't like I know you have one, but I think it might have been from somebody else like on the Indies somewhere. I saw it, but like.
Oh, we don't have any gear.
Oh, my bad.
No. Yeah, no. Missy did the last show, the second show,
right?
But I know some people of around 880 have it. That go down there for that. So,
okay.
But no, it was a lot of fun. Really, it was a lot of stress because there's a lot of kind of they're early and everybody that's a part of it kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like for where they're at trying to put together a promotion like this with this body of people. And there's like their announcer is a guy that does like local news sports and stuff. Like he's covering he was covering the March Madness games and all that kind of stuff, right? So like we have a very professional, announcer.
Sounds a bit like
coming
Combat
in.
One. They use Ben Raven. He does.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Ben Raven does radio. I think he does like radio for like the Detroit Lions.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's one of their commentary guys.
The main event was Darius Carter and Sonny Kiss.
Oh, that was probably good.
That was really good.
Yeah. You can sit anywhere. You can sit anywhere on the East Coast. You can sit in New Jersey too.
What's that?
You can see that in New Jersey
yeah?
too. Yeah, shoot.
That was I got to see Promise Braxton. I've seen her in several. I don't think I've seen her. I know she was in town, but I don't think I was at that show to catch up with her. Had Tootie Lynn. Tootie Lynn's another one I hadn't seen.
Oh yeah, Tootie. Yeah, Tootie. Isn't she still from St. Louis?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. No, she was.
She was on the Warriors show.
She was on Power.
Okay.
Yeah. No. NWA. They run the chase every year. I can't remember which one, but like she came out for like they did like a women's battle royal or something. She got the biggest Road Warrior pop. I felt so hyped for her. Yeah, because like they really put it was probably like night 1 of NWA 74. I want to say 74 or 75, one of the two. But yeah, like I remember, I definitively remember like, obviously didn't watch it live. I watched all this over the past, like, maybe probably the fall. Did my NWA binge, but yeah.
As you do.
No,
Here's a little bit of
Tootie's
the,
awesome.
There's a little bit of the Billy Dixon madness that happened at the end of the show. So yeah, it got pretty wild. And I love this is the part where the screens went down too. Somebody tripped over a wire just
And
as
this
shit
was
was
at
going
Cabras
down.
Arena, yeah?
Yeah. So yeah, it was like well, it was the event center hall like next to the arena or something, but it was like a nice cavern space.
Okay.
I love the way they lit this thing. They had a giant stage situation. It was really cool because we got to put the match graphics up on the dual screens, like that kind of like whenever we've done like New Japan and kind of done that kind of style, So yeah, it was really cool. And for us, as many bodies, like I much respect to our camera guys on this one, like covering this. This was madness. I don't know how many times we'll have like some kind of situation like this, and we never see the people through the people holding back. You know what I mean? So it was really, really cool to see that and see that crew because got to see him on film from when Missy went down there the first time, and of course there's a lot of technical issues with there's like a power issue that screwed a lot of things up last time for the live stream. But hey, we got it out regardless, and they fixed it up in post. But no, that was really cool to see what we put out live and working with Scotty that does Enjoy and working on that level of equipment, and we were bringing it together for the live stream. It was a lot of fun to do that and film some really high quality wrestling with a lot of really cool. Kevin Knight was there from New Japan and TNA.
You got a chance to watch that match yet with Moose?
The one from the pay-per-view?
Oh no, just in general, the one like he just like that one from like last year. It was like so good. It made him.
Oh yeah.
It was a star-making match.
Who do you have against?
Moose. It's Kevin Knight and Moose.
Kevin Knight and Moose.
Yeah,
Oh.
no, trust me. Like it's.
I gotta see that.
No, trust me. If you go back and look it up, like the YouTube headline will give it away. The title.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like it. Yeah, that was like all right. That match. Like, don't get me wrong. I knew Kevin Knight was good, but like watching that one, like he took an ass kicking from Moose, and yeah, no, it was one of those ones where like the beating made him even more.
And I love this promotion because it's got like a style to it. Like they're doing this kind of like Afro punk art kind of thing to it too. They had an artist come in. There was all these kind of video clips they were playing.
Like Black Dynamite or something already? I'm already in on this.
I think maybe a little bit of that.
That sounds amazing.
But no, it was really cool the way they do it. And they have these live performers. I love a performance at the beginning. So, and I think we mixed it pretty well. So, it's been a while since I've done live music. So I'm hoping we did okay with that.
A little less juggalos than your usual environment.
Hey. It was a live band at least this time.
By the end of the night, were you at least homies? Did anybody go chicken hunting?
That was a different show.
Okay.
Were you there when Jesse played chicken hunting while we were setting up for Pit Fight?
Maybe. Probably. Yes.
So somebody else came out to it too. Did you send me that clip? Was that on the Indies somewhere? Somebody came out to an instrumental of chicken hunting out of nowhere.
No, it wasn't me.
I don't know who sent me that in the last week, but
why does I want to say it might have been Frio just for the hell of it?
What was what?
Why Frio sent me footage of him?
Oh, it was probably Frio.
He went to the Esham concert.
Hard cam Isham, I believe.
I don't know, bro.
Isham, sir.
Just because I hang out with him doesn't mean I know the lore.
I may not be down. I may not understand all of the Ashe wrestling culture, but you got the Juggalo shit, and I'm down. Okay,
I'm down with everybody. All right,
but I know it.
I'm like Bill Gluckman. Down with the terms would now get me canceled.
I guess Ashe's been going a lot longer, so I thought this was like maybe the third, but this is the third I'm aware of.
Okay.
So, but anyways, hey, I'm new to it, but it's a great crew, and it's been great to work with that crew out there. Anyways, oh god, I just saw this one shot Scotty does on the stage. Jesus, so good. So anyways, that's what's going on this past weekend for anything. We should talk about what's been happening generally lately. I know you have not watched necessarily the AEW show, but I think that's the most prominent thing coming off of this weekend. Have you seen clips of it or anything that kind of caught your interest from the discussions?
I heard like I've seen like descriptions of the final sequence from Danielson and Ospreay.
My God, yes. It was you've seen an Ospreay match in New Japan. You've seen the bonkersness that turns into, right?
Mhm.
I mean, they brought back some of the what was I think there's a Kushida Osprey spot. Tina's about to correct me in the chat room, I'm sure. So Tina's going to be my correction department all night from the looks of things, so I'm appreciating that. But it was everything you wanted that to be. You know, it was definitely
Well,
a
run
dream
down the
match.
card for me. What the heck was on it?
I am just on Osprey and Danielson.
Well, what else was there? What
I
else
don't
was on the
remember
card?
because there was Osprey and Danielson.
Well, that's like that. Then I mean, don't get me wrong. Starrcade 1 was a one-match show too.
But again, everything was great up and down the card too. How
long did they go? They go like 40.
Um,
Their main events always go really long.
I'll get that in a moment. Actually,
There's no way it went less than 30.
I don't think it went less than 30. It seemed to be going for a while.
Yeah.
Let me put it this way: listen. I've had a hell of a week. Came from California, did Charlotte, did West Newton, did Thursday night before all that, and got to Sunday, and I was starting to fade, and we had 3 matches left, and they were Danielson Osprey, they were the main event with Swerve and Joe, and there was the ladder match, and it kept me awake. Let me put it that way, because like you start feeling that kind of fade, especially as a Sunday night. You've had a long weekend.
Oh, it's usually on the drive home.
You probably say you drove from Detroit and done your
It's always the last hour and a half.
your 3 death matches of the weekend. So I'm just sitting there in the back room here with had a couple people over, and it was like I was like, okay, do I just go take a nap on the couch and watch this later and let everybody else finish watching this, or do I just stick through? And I'm really glad that I did stick through. This is not.
Here's
what
my
I was
thing.
looking for.
Was there an angle before it?
Before what?
That match? Like, did they build to it or did they just do it?
Danielson and Osprey?
Yeah.
There's a big build of Callis was trying to soften up Danielson with the rest of the crew, and Osprey witnessed this and was like, I don't have anything to do with this. So there is a little bit of that going into it. But it was a lot of and this is where Danielson had the bunkhouse match on Saturday Night Collision 24 hours before and blood everywhere. And he's like, this is where, you probably saw this on social media, where Danielson declared that his heaven is bloody wrestling in front of everybody.
Huh.
So, there's the result. Sorry about that. Forgot what show this was. But yeah, no, there's a lot of really good things. And then on top of that, Swerve, 35 minutes, says Tina. Thank you, research department.
Knew it.
But Swerve, of course, is the champion.
Yeah, I know all that.
Really good match with Samoa Joe. Jack Perry came back in a very bloody, crazy ladder match, basically a TLC.
How'd the crowd react to him?
To Swerve? Jack?
Yeah.
Excitement, not booing. They're not chanting CM Punk at him, if I recall. I could be mistaken. But yeah, no, it was pretty good response for that.
Now, am I wrong? Like, don't get me wrong. I watch zero AEW. Not just because it's not really my cup of tea, but just because there's just so much wrestling. I just have to I can't. I'm one person. I can't watch all.
Oh
of it.
yeah, absolutely.
But does it just from what I've read and seen of the Jack Perry thing, doesn't it seem like a bit of a more modern twist on the loose cannon deal?
Sure. And it
was the entering with the police, the riot squad that had me thinking that finally.
But I think it's they're building off of the real story, right? Obviously, the Bucks have been doing that with the footage gimmick they did with the Punk footage a couple weeks ago, which they built right into the story of the reason we lost the FTR is we were distracted about this almost took down our biggest show ever, kind of thing, So they rolled that around. FTR responds, and that becomes a thing, and then Jack Perry comes out because he took out Punk's old buddies, So it all played in a story. They're fitting that line. Where people are like, oh, this is too close to real. It's like, no, that's exactly what you're supposed to do in a situation like this. And they're really good at doing that, I think. I'm getting an eye roll.
I mean, I can't say anything. I've never watched it, so I can't be like, oh, yeah. Like, the only time I really ever watch is when one of our friends is on, usually.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I still watch everything. So
yeah. I mean, hell, that was usually dark elevation for us.
Yeah,
It's like-
now it's Raw and Dynamite. So it's like, well, yeah, I have to watch everything because I want to see what Shane Tanner's up to. I want to see what Lee's up to. I want to see what Lady Frost is up to. I want to see what Joaquin Wilde and Johnny Gargano are up to, right? Like I can't believe how many times I tune in. I'm like, oh hey, we saw him 2 weeks ago, or hey, remember when we did this with him? Like it's brought my wife into watching wrestling more. Because she is a wrestling fan, but obviously, I'm involved a lot. And now that she's done what she's done and independently done shows without me, she now has all these connections and touch points to the people she sees on TV. She would not give two shits if I put on New Japan 5 years ago. Whatever. What's this weird wrestling where everybody's, I don't understand half of what's going on. Now it's like, oh yeah, I know that. She knows the referees and I don't. That's weird. So, but anyways, speaking of acknowledgments, well, I don't know. How have I not said we're going to acknowledge our Patreons this entire time in the 5 years of the Roman era? But I want to give a shout out to our friends following us on Patreon, supporting the show even past Mayhem Mania season. You guys are keeping it rolling here. Somebody asked me today, I was like, why don't you guys try Patreon? I was like, well, actually, we are definitely pretty deep into Patreon. So thank you to everybody that does support the show, including our friends at the fan of the show level. Bo Diggity! Woo! It's where you woo. This is where I'm missing my co-host. There we go. As well as Team Hammerfist and the Tupac family, as well as at the Poppy Club level, Dave Profile Partner, spouse of Rooster Affair at roosteraffair.com, and Rats in a Trench Coat, Tony Kincaid. At the Pizza Club level, Doc Remedy, The Riz, and Lance Fisher. And at the manager level, Bradley, you guys who was recently escorted out of a wrestling show. So.
For like a segment.
Yeah, still, it was enough. The people on TikTok didn't need to know that.
In all fairness, the guys from Local 814 would probably beat a lot of guys up. So
yeah, there's that too.
Bennett, Cole, and Rumham are big.
Yeah, they are. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are. Rumham's a bit of a dancer. So you guys support the show too. Patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show. Sometimes we will get into things we will not touch on the show. I might tell you a little. I'm going to tell you about something that pissed me off this weekend on one of the productions. So that bothered me. I have a note here to do that on Patreon.
You said, yeah, you're going to do it on Patreon.
Yes.
Can't give that away for free now.
But I got to tease it. I got to give people a reason to sign up. Just
you're,
give us $1 and you'll find out.
You're a proper carny. You tease, you don't give it away for free.
That's right. I've been around the business long enough to know that. So, but anyways, so I think I'd say with AEW without me having somebody else that's watched it here. WWE, obviously, so you're caught up on things going on there.
As of last night, completely, yes.
Yes, same here. I watched the Pittsburgh show since I was out of town. So, damn, of course, we know people. Of course, Dutters works at the arena, so she was giving me a lot of the behind-the-scenes info, what's going on over there.
They actually had a Detroit guy for security in Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Freedom Ramsey.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I looked, and I was a little bit surprised. Like, dang, they had Freedom drive. Freedom drove 4 hours to do a security spot.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure. Dude,
so there was... I paused it because I'm a loser. I want to see if I recognized anybody.
That's what you do. That's what we do.
Yeah, we saw. I got.
You always look out for.
There was a Cristiano Argento sighting.
Oh.
So he got
for this show, the former Mambo Italiano.
Yes, coming off of not only working Okada, but getting on SmackDown right after that. Props to Mambo. We all see you. Keep hustling.
Mambo is a fucking hustler too.
Saw Freedom Ramsey. Hardway Sam Holloway. He's a little hard to see. He's like you had to take a look because his back was to the camera, but he's so big that he's actually bigger than Solo Sikoa. So
nice.
But yeah, there's a lot of local friends or people we know that were got to feature in the security spot. So good looks for everybody there.
Good to see. You never know what those are going to turn into when they see their faces long enough, right? And it's been really exciting. I feel like we usually go into a lull post-Mania, especially in recent years. You're watching all the pivots. Obviously we had an injury with Rhea Ripley that led to the Battle Royal.
I don't know if I agree with the pivot.
Well, you gotta go somewhere with it, and there's a plan, and we'll see what the plan is. Well, you're going to really big shows, so I think that changes a little bit what you're gonna do.
Now that I think about it, I kind of take my opinion back.
Why is that?
Considering where they're going to be running over the next few months.
Think about it.
Well, I didn't think about it until right now.
Think about it.
No,
what's your thought? Why is that? Hit me with the reasoning so people know where you're going.
Well, if you're doing a European tour, why in the hell wouldn't you put a belt on a European?
There you go. There you go.
Granted, it's not Ireland, it's France.
Well, yeah. Well, you had an Australian before.
Yeah.
And you have a Bailey from the West Coast. Yeah, you're going to have those movements, right? And if you had to, like, Rhea's going to be hot everywhere, right? And maybe you would have done a rematch with Becky at Clash at the Castle. Who knows, right?
Oh yeah, I forgot they that's June 15th, right?
Yep, June 15th. And
Cardiff.
Something else just got announced for June 15th that I wanted to see that I probably won't be in town for.
TNA is going to be running that weekend in Chicago.
TNA's that weekend. I think Collision's in Youngstown, Ohio that weekend. Yeah.
They run Youngstown?
I'm pretty sure I'm going to be on the Michigan Speedway that weekend. So, yeah, hey, man, like, WWE used to run Youngstown back in the day all the time.
Well, if you're looking for any dates when you're up in Michigan, I'm like, my schedule's picking up.
The way Michigan goes, I'm not going to have any time to sleep.
That's a shame because the schedule's about to pick up with some really good stuff over the next month. So
I'm heading up there. Well, I'm heading up there in 2 weekends, and I have to.
What weekend's that?
The weekend after the Team Big League Pro, whatever we're calling it in Erie. You
should come to Horror Slam that Friday.
I have to figure out how to live stream an event with Brazilians.
You should still come. You should still come to the Horror Slam show that night.
If I have any time to do that, but it's
triple threat death match: Chuck Stein, Dr. Redacted, and Drake Younger.
I'm going to be tied to a live view. I know I'm going to be tied to a live view doing an award ceremony.
It's okay.
Is that Saturday you're talking
about?
It's a Friday. Yeah, it was a Friday.
Friday night in Livonia.
In Livonia. I'm probably staying south of Brooklyn. That's going to be like an hour drive each way.
We'll work it out.
We'll work it out.
I probably get a comp for you.
I got to get sleep.
We'll see.
Now we're talking. Look at this wheeling and dealing he's doing live on the air.
Sorg, you'd be dealing with Juggalo royalty and Briar Wellington here. I mean, come on.
Nobody up there.
You're paisans. You're Juggalo paisans.
Juggalo. Why are you presuming Juggalos are Italian? What is happening here?
It's not. They're not Italian. It's just for it's just the closest term I could come up with. Okay, so shut up.
Okay. We're taking you to the gathering, man.
Paisans? I don't know. What do you want?
We're getting you to the gathering, whether you're working there or not. You would have a good time. You'd have a really.
Do
good
we have
time.
the date for the gathering?
Yes,
yet?
we do. It's in like mid-August, so it's like a week or two after SummerSlam.
Ooh.
Yes, all my dates, all my pinpoints are based
on
wrestling dates.
Sorg, do not tempt me with a good time.
I am tempting you with that. I am tempting Zeke is my concert buddy. This is how we roll now. And don't get me started with Brillo Box. I can't go back until June. Anyways, WWE. There was the women's battle royal last night.
Yes.
Or should we talk about Pittsburgh first? Should we talk about Pittsburgh or the women's?
I mean, honestly, like I was kind of bummed out that we didn't get like Cody in Pittsburgh.
No, but he was busy on the European tour, so
it's just kind of
sad.
I just know if I would have bought tickets for SmackDown, like, and then found out that the Conquering Hero doesn't make my hometown part of his victory tour, I'd be upset.
Yeah.
But then again, it was a SmackDown.
But he had all of Europe.
I know.
But it was a good one. Kevin Owens wore a Penn's jersey again.
Did he?
I think he did. I saw a picture of him wearing one.
No, I thought he got bloodied up.
He got bloodied up, yes.
Yeah, he got beat up.
So, I don't know. I think somebody sent me a picture of the last one.
The one meme I remember seeing from Friday made a little bit more sense now, though. When Tama Tonga is getting more ratings than Will Ospreay and Mercedes Moné, you gotta wonder.
You start me with the ratings again?
That's not me. It's just the meme I saw. Okay, I don't know.
Okay. Of course, SmackDown has more ratings than everything. Okay, like there is no fathomable realm where AEW is going to beat WWE in ratings just because of the machine and where they're at. SmackDown's on free TV, which just spikes your ratings right off the bat, right? So, Anyways.
I mean, I don't know why people are so obsessed with ratings, but they are, because they still think it's 1998. And everybody thinks they're Dave Meltzer.
Exactly. It matters to the TV stations.
Well, yeah.
Sure. It matters for how much that next TV deal is going to be, but that's already locked in for WWE. AEW should be concerned about it, sure, but by all accounts, those numbers are very good for their expectations. I don't think anybody at TNT is expecting Monday Night Raw's level numbers from AEW. Like, AEW, the numbers they're having now can be a success for AEW. Both can be true at the same time.
It is WCW, though.
It is not WCW. It is light years beyond. Do you fucking remember the last couple years of WCW?
I mean, yeah, and if it keeps going,
We're talking Oklahoma. We're talking about all black Hulk Hogan. We're talking about Vince Russo. We're talking about David Arquette. Tell me your David Arquette movie. Is Tony Khan rolling out in a Pope Mobile? No.
In 1999,
no,
we're still
having
getting
lit fucking matches with Will Ospreay. We're getting Swerve.
Because we didn't get the Chris Benoit, Bret Hart, Owen Hart tribute match in 1999 when it was starting to swirl. Come on. Just saying.
Okay. Anyways, back to the thing. Women. So we had the women's thing. I think Becky makes sense. I thought Liv was going to get it. I thought it was going to. I don't know what the window is for Rhea being out. So
me either. I have no context on that.
I don't read wrestling news anymore. I just watch wrestling. And you know what? I'm so happy.
I just hated that she had to give it up like that. It is what it is. Like, you have to figure it has to be for at least a few months if she had to give up the belt.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I figure at least 2 to 3 months.
They can't even play with that at that point. Like, Seth was definitely dealing with injuries, and you could tell he stopped just opening up and having matches for a while, right?
And that's kind of my only worry about Becky right now, because everybody had said, "Oh yeah, she's finally gonna be able to take some time away." I just don't want her to like burn out or like get too banged up.
She took a year for the baby. I don't think she's ready to take time off again.
I mean, I don't know.
I really don't think so.
Don't look at me. I don't know.
But who knows? You know, they are in their careers and they can do that if they want to. If they need a little bit of breather. So
yeah, obviously, who's the first boogeyman or first boogie woman? I guess.
What?
Who's the first boogie woman? Who's like the first like adversary?
Oh, I thought in my mind,
Liv or Nia?
The way you put that, I thought one of the women wrestlers were going to come out dressed as Boogeyman.
No, Boogie Woman, just, because trying to be PC and inclusive and
Boogie
stuff.
person.
Yes, Boogie they.
Shit.
Boog they.
Oh, the Boog they. I think we
sounds like that's the episode title.
I feel like we continue. I feel like we continue. I feel like I'm going to walk into a bad terminology by accident there. I think they probably, the lazy thing.
They're non-boognary.
Damn it.
Got it.
Show title probably. No, I think I think the obvious choice is going Nia Jax because there was a feud there before, and now we can do it for the title, right? It's like, hey, reignite that, but there's a belt on the line. Add some weight to it. So
and there'd probably be some really good heat in Cardiff too for her.
I love that they brought back Zoe because she had that heated thing with Zoe with the Trish Stratus thing. I think that would be a fun thing. Man,
in the promo last night, they did drop the crumb that she had beaten Becky too. So that we can follow up on that.
That was such a good setup. When we've done this in the past, you would see one or two entrances. They were like, well, one of those is the winner. Well, and this time they let in with a lot of people.
It took me back to it made me remember how good her match with Rhea was at Survivor Series. That was a very good match
for somebody that's a year into the main
that was
roster.
that was one of my favorite matches Rhea had of her entire reign.
Sure. No, I think we could have a lot of play with this. I'd like to see Zoe get it. I'd like to see Shayna go at it. Things like that. I mean, but it's such a good roster. Candice with this new attitude could go at it for a minute. We can try that out maybe.
You know who I'd like to see actually? Now I think about it, Chelsea Green.
I had a moment where I'm like, maybe Chelsea gets this. Maybe Chelsea gets this.
But no. I mean,
has Piper as the
what
diesel heavy.
What we could do. What they should do like Jericho Goldberg 98, but with Chelsea and Becky, and then have Chelsea lose in about 2 minutes flat. Have her run through some tomato cans. It'd be great. Yeah.
Just meeting kids. No, I think it's a lot of fun with that.
Think about it. She could even cut up a bunch of promos about how management's not despite her impressive win streak, management's holding her. Yeah, it's all there.
I am loving the production. I am loving the walkouts. I am loving the continuous camera.
It doesn't feel stale.
It does. No. It like they're trying. They really are trying and experimenting. They started with an interview with Candace, rolled to a pull apart with Nia and I don't even remember who. To Becky taking the mic and doing a walkout and giving a pep talk to Maxine. And every time they walk through the gorilla and through the curtain, I get chills. I get the wrestle feels, right?
I love the...
and then they continued all the way through the entrance until they went to commercial break.
Yeah, but no, like even the way the ending from 2 Mondays ago was framed, the way it was shot.
Which one was this?
Gable.
Okay.
Just like I never saw it coming, and I thought it was perfect. Like, just like everything, because like the way they shot it at the exact angle where when he came and hit him, like it's like it was that much more shocking.
It was great. Especially after the hand raise, and you're like, okay,
yeah.
we're done with this. We're doing the feel good, and then pow. Oh, so sorry. So I'm excited. I'm hitting the mic. I'm excited. I'm hitting the mic.
Because what you think? Oh, where do they go now? They just they just finished off. Like because what after you let's be real. The Cody Roman thing had the potential to be like the ending of Endgame with how the Marvel movies are basically now, right? Like, don't get me wrong, there's still some of that old magic there, but for the most part, it's kind of lost its luster because
it's a reboot. Well, you got to set the table for the next
story they've ever.
Absolutely,
it's the biggest story in their thing. So when you use that.
This is just like not just like, but this is like when we would go through this period on this show where we're like, oh god, NXT is in so much trouble because everybody important got called up and are doing all this great stuff on the main roster, and you're like, NXT's so screwed. Like, nope, it fills in and it works. Same things happen in New Japan. Man, all the good talent left. There's nothing left in New Japan now, right? And you're just like, oh wait. Who's this guy? What the hell is Gabe Kidd doing? What the hell is this guy doing? The smiley guy, I forget his name. I didn't watch more New Japan so I can catch up with the new guys. What are the Bullet Club War Dogs doing, right? Like all those guys were killing it. David Finlay, killing it over there, right? They're going to be fine by Wrestle Kingdom. You're going to want to watch Wrestle Kingdom. And WWE, they have a plan. There's intriguing things happening with the Bloodline, right? We have Tama Tonga and
the wrinkle with Paul Heyman's the best part of it.
Oh my God, the back and forth that like Paul Heyman is the last vestige of the old regime sanity, trying to pull it together in the absence of the leadership.
It's the fall of the Western Roman Empire.
It is.
It really is.
Roman Empire.
Yeah, literally. Like
fall of the Roman Empire.
It's the fall of the Western half.
And we could very well, I believe, by SummerSlam, have face Bloodline versus heel Bloodline.
I mean, Roman comes back. He's a face now.
Oh,
that's it.
Completely.
It's done.
Because he's been usurped, and he's coming back for his, and he's fighting from behind now after his big loss on the biggest stage, and it's got to be The Rock is heading all this, right?
It's like I'm gonna date myself here, but like last night, this thought came through my head. Solo is in a very unique position right now. Given the fact that I was a bigger WCW mark than anything, all I see right now with where Solo is like Scott Steiner right before the finger poke of doom when he takes over leading NWO Hollywood. Right?
Okay.
So like, that could go one of two ways. Like how it ended up pretty good for him because but like he did have that little bit where like he was still like he was like the leader, but he wasn't like
Sure.
That's kind of where I feel like Solo's in like the same spot right now.
He's the one left. Yeah,
and like but like I think like he's I don't think I think he's gonna get it.
We have
Especially we get Fatu with Tom Tonga.
Yeah, the rumors of Jacob Fatu, the other Anderson brother, getting on there.
Yes, the third Anderson.
The third Anderson brother
Of the Samoan branch of the Anderson
and I
clan.
can't wait for the Anderson brothers, Sean and Marty, to get on there as part of the Bloodline story. That's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. 880 lore for you guys. Anyways. He is saying there's interesting analogy with the Greek mythology story of Icarus to what's going on with the bloodline. It's on TikTok. So, Zeke knew that I said his name earlier. They popped in right now, so on the chat room. What's up, everyone out there? We are looking at all the chat rooms we possibly can. If you're out there, please drop any comments about what we're talking about here. Again, great stuff there. And trying to think if there's anything else from Raw generally, but I think we're pretty good with it. There was
one other big trend last night.
What's
though.
that?
A lot of like reshuffling and breakups last night.
Mm-hmm. It's that season.
Yeah, with Vinci and the Imperium, and there's probably going to be some shakeup with the Alpha Academy and the Bloodline, and like it's
The Judgment Day.
Yeah, Judgment Day 2, man.
Is got a lot of cracks right now, right? So what's the deal with Liv talking to Dom?
That's the kind of crap that they like, or like the intermingling with Legado del Fantasma too.
Yes,
this is the kind of crap.
Breadcrumbs.
This is the kind of crap that annoys me about like how New Japan and AEW book their factions. There's never any discord. It's just like we are part of the team, and we are part of the team, and we fight as a team. That's it. Like all the other teams are not our team. We fight them. That's it. I need more.
And that's loose. It's like I never feel like, other than when they do like their tags, which they do all the time, I don't feel there's much intermingling except for like the Bullet Club when they do that, right? And that's just style. That's their style, right? I think the other thing you see with WWE, they hired within the last year, they specifically hired a continuity manager. Okay, so
why was that not a thing already?
Who I know, right? Who I believe, because it was one person that was the continuity, and continuity is whatever he said was the continuity. Again, a WWE up until a year.
Now I know what I need my job at 880 Wrestling to be.
Oh my God! If Indie Wrestling had a continuity manager,
brother,
especially when you're doing a weekly concept like
brother,
we're doing,
brother,
can we? Hey, we're gonna have a meeting next week, and
yes,
we're gonna bring this up.
George Ross for continuity manager 2024. Let's get that on shirts.
Yes,
it'll go viral as hell, Bubby.
The
Just
position
watch.
will be great, but you know the pay scale.
Pay scale.
The pay scale.
Don't hate me,
Finger
MV.
quotes.
Love you, Bubby.
We love you, MV.
More than you'll love your opponent on Friday. Well, no,
Has he announced it yet?
There will not be an announced opponent.
No, there's never an announced
He's
opponent.
gonna be there. He wants to fight somebody.
I feel like he's just gonna fight somebody in the streets sometimes. Anyways, we'll talk about that in a moment.
Yes.
It's time on NXT to whoop that trick. NXT. I gotta catch it. I have not watched any post WrestleMania NXT. Traveling has not helped. So I'm messaging my friend at AEW and saying I need to watch all your shows for this week still. So leading up to the pay-per-view. Anyways. So, on that note, I think that puts a pin in that. Hey, let's shout out again. A lot of great stuff happening. A lot of great stuff has happened in the last couple of weeks. My God, we've had a VCW show. We've had the 2PW. LDE show. The Lebanon Dawn. I'm going to say
it's the
experience.
closest thing you'll ever get to a local version of NWO sold out, brother.
It was. It really was. So that's of course up there on IndyWrestling.network. And on the YouTube membership for IndyWrestling.us, all those shows. This past weekend's RWA Spring Fling, which featured
Sandman
came back once again. But my God, a contract signing turned into a title change. What the hell are they doing over there?
And I got caught in the middle of a literal mob war.
You did. You really did.
They finally whacked me.
They did whack you. That was the Wise Guys at the Gambinos, I believe we're talking about. Yes. I was ringside. I can't remember anything from ringside, guys. That's how tired I was. So they asked me if I wanted to direct. I'm like, nah, I'm probably better on camera.
We also have our ongoing trademark dispute over the naming rights of
Super Hentai. Have you seen this? And by the way, can we talk about Riz? Oh, this is IndyWrestling.us. Go follow up on all that stuff. Can we talk about the Riz? And the let me see.
The Riz, not actual Riz.
You know, yes, yes. You know, I have this problem where every time I try to pull up Riz on social media, I have almost tagged Nyla Rose and post for the show so many times because her name is like Riz, like is Riz, or using the Riz term or whatever. So that's been an entire thing. But it's not on here. But we definitely posted it before. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can pull this up. I don't think I put it on Facebook or YouTube. That's a shame. That's a damn shame. But the fact that you saw, everybody that was in the back told me afterwards about how when Preston Everest came out and got yelled at Wheels on Sound, yelled at Hank for not announcing him as Super Hentai because he got the Super Hentai name, and to watch the title delete one by one and fill out was tremendous. Riz is your graphics guy, okay, for these shows. It was absolutely tremendous. So such a great staff. That's why I'm not even worried about them working back there because I'm like, this is their show. RWA is Chachi's show and the crews that works at Carlin's and Riz and Ashley. I know she wasn't there for this. She had another gig. So it was fun to fill in at ringside again. It's fun to be in danger again. You know, I like living life where it's like, this is why I like the mosh pit, and I'm just holding expensive equipment in the meantime. So, I know I'm in trouble when there's a Marshall Gambino comes out and just walks into the camera and says, I'm going to fuck somebody up. Gianni, Michael Enrico getting destroyed with a chair. My God, that kid's getting broke into the business.
Oh yeah, but I mean, he got one over on Shadow Man.
Yes. So we got a lot going on. So I want to talk about two things with you. Obviously, I want to talk a little bit about you. You're kind of reinvigorating your social media. Has been really interesting. I've been noticing the tags. And you've been asking me some technical questions, so I want to talk a little bit about that. But also, what's the latest with you? What is the latest of the? Have you had any deathmatch travels and WrestleMania weekend? I think we can talk about that experience as well.
Probably one.
Where have you been the last 3 weeks?
Honestly, April was pretty eventful.
Yeah.
Well, not totally. Last weekend was kind of slow. But WrestleMania weekend was pretty eventful. We got to do a show on one of the coolest venues ever, Photo Club, just with the dance floor. I'm sure you've seen the aesthetic.
I've seen a little bit of that. I think we contributed a camera to that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, we did. The dance floor was phenomenal. We did.
I still need to watch that.
Don't get me wrong. It is available on YouTube. Evil Ways. I forget what I think there's something else with the YouTube, but it's called Evil Ways. I Think of Demons, I believe, or I Dream of Demons. One of the two. We had an appearance. From the Rock and Roman in Evil Ways.
What?
You didn't hear about that?
No. What the hell?
Oh yeah, it was like Rock and Roman if you got them on Wish.
Yeah, there's
Beastman
about to jump on the dance floor. Oh,
Beastman taking on Felix Cause.
Look at all that.
This was in the opener. Felix Cause was hunting Beastman for weeks and chased him all the way to Philly.
This is great. The uplighting on this dance floor is tremendous.
Yes, and we also
Who is that?
That is Roman, Cowpoke Roman.
Cowpoke Roman.
Yes. And then we had the Rock, Zeke Mercer as well.
The Rock. Oh, I saw the picture of this.
This is from the second match.
Mickey Knuckles.
Yes, the walking episode of Cops herself, Mickey Knuckles, was announced against the Smash hit. Was advertised previously in a singles against the Smash hit Joel Bateman. However, Lou Nixon was there, and he decided, to hell with that. You're gonna put me in the match too.
I'll move on for the squeamish here.
Yes, there may have been a spot from a Tom Six movie that we probably shouldn't talk about.
Okay. I'm not familiar.
That one's going to have to be, that's the NSFW version.
Okay.
Main event. One of the craziest sons of bitches you'll find anywhere.
Dude,
Dr. Redacted.
There
he is
going.
Dr. Redacted and JJ Escobar.
Met JJ Escobar at the Hallowicked JCW show. Wonderful gentleman. And Dr. Redacted is the craziest dude I've met talking backstage.
Yeah, so,
So-
JJ is a regular at POR down in Virginia. They have an upcoming show on May 19th.
Ooh, Cane Day.
And then he's also a regular out at XPW. So yeah, he just couldn't work the last show because he had his elbow was still messed up from when he got nailed to the canvas at Horror Slam in February by the dirty white boy Chuck Stein.
Wait, nailed?
Literal
Like
nail.
nailed.
Yeah, like a nail gun. Yeah,
Like nailed.
yeah, he was nailed to the canvas.
Okay.
After he ate a firecracker bat too.
All right, and here's a little bit of the Rock, Zeke, and Mercer.
Yes, this is
in action
Felix
here.
Cause succeeded in his mission to claim the pelt of the Beast Man, not
Hey,
with
the pelt?
not without controversy.
Okay.
But yeah, if you're interested in some irreverent Mania Week fun, we were up against night one. There were but you say that
You want to
like,
watch The Rock or you want to watch Discount Rock?
there were
They're
about
where's your hey, this is for the WrestleMania for the people on the
while
lower
our
budget.
don't get me wrong, it's not like we had hundreds of people there, but we had some movers and shakers there.
Okay.
Including the one Necro Butcher,
Yes.
Jasmine St. Clair,
Okay.
and Rich Swann,
There you go. There you go.
as well as some other deathmatch.
Oh no,
luminaries.
I got messages about Rich Swann.
Like
That's
Vic
right. I heard some stories.
But yeah,
But that's awesome. That is amazing.
and then the next, like there was a lot of underground stuff, a lot of underground things going on.
I keep seeing still need to watch. I don't know if they posted it yet, but I need to see this show New Fear City did at the skate park. The clips.
I
are
was
tremendous.
there for a little bit. It was too cold. The wind.
Yeah,
was,
that's why I didn't
The
go.
wind was blowing
Yeah.
underneath the overpass.
And you're right
I'm
on the
not
river,
and I'm not punk rock enough.
I was
there.
Nope.
So Akira and Gabriel Sky had the first match. After that, my hands were numb. I checked out.
You're like, I'm out.
On my way out, all the cops showed up. There were about 7 squad cars that rolled up. They didn't even end up doing. They didn't end up doing anything
Yeah.
about the show. So
And I'm astonished at that because, like, classically, this is not okay in Pennsylvania. What's happening here? So, like,
probably
like,
because it was a
it's-
free show.
yeah, it was a free show and everything.
From
but
what I heard, it was probably because of the burlesque dancers that opened.
yeah, not the violence, not the light tubes, not gritty
Well, there were-
jumping off the thing.
Oh, that was
but
probably
the
the main
ladies-
event.
But the ladies were there. So yeah, there's pictures of like that was wild.
It's the vibe they go for.
Oh, absolutely, and you can't beat that. Like, if it's kind of it's that gathering vibe. It's like you want to go see some fucked up shit. You want to feel like maybe you might be in danger. Like, these are the kind of shows you go to. You know, it's something
I
different.
mean, if you want to talk about danger, we can talk about Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah, on coming off night 2. So not sure. You will remember because you did the body count rumble at Harpo's.
Yes, I did.
RPW ran at Tremont's building.
Yes.
Yes. For the show was called Miasma.
Okay. My
Miasma.
asthma. Miasma.
Yeah,
This is all one word.
A veritable like all-star lineup for that sphere as well. Don't get me wrong. Ricky Shane Page ended up getting hurt at Revolver the night before, so he had to tap out of his tag match.
Mm-hmm.
But we still had 440 Blue against Midwest Scum for the tag belts with Vincent Nothing and Alice Crowley.
Okay.
I mean, Joel Bateman and Donnie Darko had a razor board.
There's a guy named Donnie Darko, like straight up
Like
Donnie Darko.
It's Danny Darko, I think.
Darko, okay.
Danny Darko, yeah. They did a razor board match that was brutal. Remington Roar and Vic Craig. The Schwests, Schwartzy and Randy West against Low Life Louie and Dr. Redacted. I was privileged enough to do the Typhoon of Tubes match with Matt Tremont and Judge Joe Dredd, as well as the Tokyo Towers and Light Tube Bundles match with John Wayne Murdoch and Yusaku Ito, the Crazy Octopus.
It's a lot of cage match for you guys to look up, ladies and gentlemen.
That one was especially sponsored by Kings Road Wrestling, so that's why I was after that one.
Okay.
But yeah, main event ended up being a 4-way with MM3, Lou Nixon, who else? And I'm blanking. There was 4. They ended up crowning a new Rust Belt Deathmatch champion because Tommy Vendetta was unable to defend the belt because he was hurt. He got hurt from ICW, I believe.
Okay.
But Lou won the belt, took it back to England.
Nice. Have you seen that new black or not black? God, I wouldn't say Blackcraft. The New Fear City Deathmatch Championship.
No.
It looks nice. They unveiled it at the kickoff party, and that was pretty. It's a good looking belt, and it's one of the better looking belts I've seen in all of wrestling. To be quite honest, like very nice. It looks like kind of a pirate belt, but it's their vibe.
I do appreciate our no ring belt.
Yeah,
Yes.
the one that's like that has like I think it's got
There's barbed wire on it.
Doesn't have barbed wire and tacks and stuff in it. Like it's a weapon.
Credit to Jace Car Race Car.
He has it.
He made it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I do also appreciate the bare knuckle VCW one that has
the actual brass knuckles.
the brass knuckles on it. So, those are also pretty good. So, anyways,
It's definitely a throwback title of the 90s and 2000s for sure.
we got wrestling this weekend. What's happening on? I guess mostly Friday, right?
Oh, yeah. Don't get me wrong. We'll have our usual, probably a little more of a souped-up episode this week for Thursday Night Fights.
Yep.
Just because we will probably have some extra talent coming in. But the main attention will be for Friday because it is Fridays on 5th returns to New Kensington. Fourth Friday of every month we do food vendors and all that fun stuff. But we are presenting our big return show from Philly. This is our big, our first big one of the year, Family Ties 2, the annual extravaganza in honor of the Italian strongman, Gianni Michael Enrico. We'll have Reese Hayes defending against A-Game, Joseph Alexander. Alexander ended up he ended a pretty good match with MV Young last Thursday. That was a student versus teacher scenario. And he ended up kicking MV below the belt, and we ended up having to throw the match out. And then after a successful defense from Reese Hayes against Blizzy Blake of the Den of Desire, he was attacked viciously after the match by A-Game, and A-Game called him out. Because he believes that he is the best thing the T2T of any chapter's ever produced. So we're probably we'll get a little bit of New York versus Pittsburgh action for the heavyweight title. We're gonna have the fourth line defending the belts against, I believe, against the Nefarious Dangerous Knights crew. Some combination of the three, whether it be, Frank DeVille, David Lawless, or Gianni Enrico himself. We'll find out. Not to mention all your other MV Young will be there. Obviously, not just because he owns the building. I heard he's a little cranky after getting kicked below the belt by one of his favorite students. So I think he's going to be in the extra angry mood. So he'll probably want to punch somebody in the face. And knowing him, he'll probably set somebody down in a chair. At least be nice about setting him in a chair first before he does it. I was trying to think of what else we might have. Brohemoth and Zeke Mercer are probably going to be taking on each other again.
Yep.
But yeah,
and all this is and if you're in the area, New Kensington starts this month. There, Fridays on 5th.
Yes.
Every fourth Friday, which these shows are usually linked to. So there's literally starting like less than a block away. Our street food
8 p.m. Yes,
vendors.
8 p.m. bell time.
8 p.m. bell time, but to get there by, I think they open up like maybe 6 o'clock or 7 for the street vendors, food trucks, and all that kind of stuff. I think there might be live music along there too, but there's also going to be live music, I think, in our venue at 880.
I don't know.
I can't remember if that's happening this time or not. So, but I know classically we did that a lot last year. So, I will be out of town. I will be viewing as soon as I get to my hotel room. I'll be checking you guys out here live. From the West Coast, so good luck, everybody. But no, it's a good time. It's a good show. It's a different feeling show than about everybody that runs around here. I think everybody that we work with does very, very good wrestling shows. I mean, you're on most of them with us as well. But again, AD is like just a whole different vibe that nobody's done. Like this version of this. Even different than what Enjoy does.
It is a punk rock show.
Yeah, it's a punk rock show in wrestling.
Yes.
Chairs that are a premium. I think there's like 10 of them. Good luck. And that's mostly reserved for those that need them.
Yes, tickets.
Yep.
All tickets are $20. If there are chairs, those will be priced up a little bit more.
Yes, a little bit more. It's like chairs are literally at a premium. BYOB. Sometimes I think Voodoo Lounge comes down and sells.
No, they don't.
But not this time. Okay.
They don't.
But
BYOB.
BYOB now. So I don't think there's room for anybody else to come in there. So no, it's a good time. It's a good time. So
Yes,
go check it out.
come check out all your 880 favorites.
Absolutely. It's been a big following there. It's amazing to see. Like, what was that guy from Ecuador or something that does the music database or something like that?
I don't even know.
Like, it's been crazy, the people that are watching these shows.
Yeah, no,
or going to other shows in other states and they're talking about this.
Well, I've been putting us over in Michigan since we started, but yeah.
Well, I'm going south and hearing about it. So
no way.
Yeah,
That's cool.
So really cool stuff. Go check it out. We're going to be back. We'll have a little bit of chat about company culture after this.
Paulie Kilpis will have to remove 3 dresses, whereas the Crew of Blood only have to remove 1. And I want to know, how do they rate on a fashion perspective? Captain Decapitate, how are you rating this ensemble?
I know he would be proud. Look at that! He hugs with sincerity.
Took him into his home, trained him. Kilpis just removed a hot dog from his undergarments. And I know, betrayed Paulie Kilpis to join the Crew of Blood. Decapitate, don't call him Captain Crunch in green. He was willing to do it because...
Really proving to be a major factor here.
What a mind.
Oh, big clothesline. Than anything else in this matchup.
He can hug with shooter Gannon Green showing.
The corseting unwound by John Paul.
Was on the side of the Crew of Blood.
Oh.
Now a meeting of the mind.
Close to bear.
Big ol' hug for Captain Crunch himself. A moral victory for Paulie Kilpis. Coming from not just one monster, some of the biggest and the baddest. We've
Different dynamic to this Monsters Ball match.
the velvet voice of Marcus Scott. Scott, all 6'9", just got swing and a miss. Oh! We're in the midst of the fans.
Oh! Look out! Look out! Oh no! Roper coming charging! Oh!
Let's be clear, in Death Drop.
What the hell?
Hey,
gonna fly!
He's electric! Boogie, woogie, woogie!
No CFR able to get out. Biggins!
Defense leaving his opponent Cataton. Lowrider can be the final girl.
Competitors taking it in this way.
Comes Oprah indeed.
Oh, big. No way! No way!
A victim.
Big spear to Jimmy Shane.
For the second time, flying high. Thunderbird shook the heavens today. On a very fair and even damage and destruction.
Biggest reputation.
Age
Look
dangerous territory.
Oh, big clothesline.
Enrico and Amanda really can make a huge difference.
How do you get things back on track even with
Myers out in that moment. Black
his claws and now biting?
Bode well for them. 2-on-1.
Want to see the pride of West Virginia.
Really have a bone to pick with
Years. Maybe on the line is
one of The Mind Eraser, the first. Way we go, the lassoer of Lee.
Look out!
No.
Oh man!
Only for just a moment.
Oh my lord!
Stunner! And he is.
What did he slip there? Wait a second. There.
You're trying to get it work.
This is all happening in front of Nicholas's son. Now, Cannonball by. They're gonna. Good
wait,
lord.
Remy.
And
Remy just found Malachi!
lose the match in order to save the life of Malachi Davis. Paulie Kilpis will have to remove 3 dresses, whereas the Crew of Blood only have to remove 1. And I want to know, how do they rate on a fashion perspective? Captain Decapitate, how are you rating this ensemble?
I know he would be proud.
Look at that!
He hugs with sincerity.
Took him into his home, trained him.
We are back, Wrestling Mayhem Show. We weren't talking to anybody. Nobody else is here. Nobody else was here on the break. Don't worry, you didn't miss anything. Just a figment, a specter of Mayhem Show past. But with us is the present referee, maybe the official referee of the Mayhem Show.
Haha.
And this is no heat or nothing, but I just saw that there's another podcast as a championship that's going to be on that show on Friday. IW Guides sponsoring the show. So and I've seen this come up with another thing, and I've never even fathomed the idea of this, but now it's got it itching in my brain. I know it's going to be unoriginal if we do one now because others have done this. Of course, Team Hammerfist has their internet championship that we've talked about potentially doing something on here with the show that we just haven't sorted out. But is it time? I never even thought of this as an idea. Because I never wanted to insert what we do into wrestling, but it seems to naturally happen anyways with you guys that we have on the show. Should the Wrestling Mayhem Show have a championship? And should George be the official referee of it?
Just make me the referee. We don't need a belt.
Just I don't know, and I don't have an answer. There's no discussion other than what we've had. I'm just gonna put this into the world and see what the feedback is, and then I'm gonna I know belt makers. I know several.
Hyperion belts. We'll use Hyperion belts because they're the best.
Okay, who's Hyperion belts?
Detroit. They're in Michigan.
Is
Trust
it-
me.
okay,
They know,
I mean,
he's
well,
really good.
Okay.
No, like trust me. Like the
Sure.
Yeah.
I think the Wildcats is probably busy.
I mean,
so-
brother, if you would see what the Pro Wrestling All Stars Junior Heavyweight title.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
Okay.
Like, trust me. Hyperion belts on Facebook. They're awesome. Like, trust me.
Who would be? And again, I would love people in the chat room and on social media afterwards to chime in on this. Who would you like to see? Maybe not as the inaugural champion, but who should be the inaugural Mayhem Show championship match?
Zeke's got to be in it.
Yeah, Zeke's got to be in that.
I feel like Ronnie would have been ringside managing.
You know what? Ronnie would be the other choice for
Why
a
do I have
referee.
a feeling this would be
If
Zeke and-
if he was still refereeing, he would be the other.
Zeke
he
and
could be the backup.
Beastman. That
Zeke and Beastman for the Mayhem
that,
belt?
that sounds like, yeah, because what? Beastman does this show a lot.
And Beastman goes a lot of places, so it would be nice to see that other places that he may or may not be going in the
Might
next
even see
couple
the
months.
Mayhem title defended on CCW someday.
Whoa.
Or JCW when he goes out there. Who knows, yeah.
Jeez. You never know. Don't tell my wife that this idea is coming up. Don't tag her. Please don't tag her. We do have a belt technically, but it's for fantasy football. This is true. This is absolutely true. So Zeke versus
What was it?
Zeke versus Katie Arquette versus Dombrowski. Yeah. I mean, well, Joe's got to be a part of it in some fashion, of course. He's on the intro to the show now. So, doing his best think on there. So, that's just a self-referential thing. Also, I hope you guys. By the way, I just noticed I have a sticker. I hope you voted today, whatever municipality or nation you may be in. Well, actually, no. This may be just a Pennsylvania thing. So it's just regional.
Remind me
This is a
that's in
regional
the
thing.
something I learned this week.
Okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah, because
We'll get to that. In Pennsylvania, we had. Is this a primary special election day? I
it
don't know
was
what
the
this is.
it was the primary day.
Is it a
The
primary?
president was on there too. Yeah, I vote.
Yeah.
I vote via mail and everything. was on there.
I brought a crumpled up mail thing to surrender because I thought I was going to be out of town.
I vote no.
today.
Like the fact that it took like some crazy virus coming out of Wuhan to finally make us realize that we could do what the Europeans do and just vote by mail is so stupid.
I think Washington's got it the right. Don't they just send it out to everybody? Like that's the dream.
Well,
right
yeah,
there.
voting's compulsory. Like,
yeah. So that'd be nice, but whatever. That's another show entirely. Was it company culture? Something that I strive for positivity here in Sorgatron Media, Psychic Media Services.
Yet he brings me on this show.
Well, I mean, this isn't an employee thing. You're a guest. This is a different thing. You're not working with anybody. Notice nobody else showed up. So yeah, it just popped him over there.
Oh, shit.
But it's been coming out a lot about WWE. Obviously, there was a lot of rah-rah. We talked about it on the show here before the break last week about it just seemed like everything about this is a new era, and thank you, Triple H, and please come out. By the way, I don't know if you saw the clip where Tony Storm said, she said a couple of things, but she said, Tony, I will, no matter what happens, no matter what, I will never, ever, ever force you to come out to celebrate a victory with me. It was the end of WrestleMania, of course. So there's been stories. And again, I'm not actively reading wrestling websites other than when I'm just kind of catching up with things literally here on the show about the latest headlines. But I've seen on my feed a lot about this, these quotes about the vibe at WWE is a lot lighter. I think you see this on the show. Like, people are having fun and saying things that they never would have said before, on the show. Drew McIntyre feels free to say, like, stop looking up my skirt, you perv.
That was amazing. No, that was amazing.
Did you see the one where they're at a live show and he's like puts his kilt back on and says, you guys are being nasty, you don't get sexy Drew tonight.
Oh my God.
Drew is on fire.
No,
And
Drew,
again, this is the thing that happens with the freedom of it. This is the thing that I appreciate about an AEW is you don't have writers. You have bookers, but not writers.
Well, okay.
You have agents.
I would like to, so like we're talking about, you can just tell the difference in booking between how they both handled quote unquote real life issues as of late.
Yeah.
The big one, like we've talked about it enough. The big one being the Jack Perry Punk footage, right? They did I feel like AEW did that with like knowing that it was only going to appeal to like a very set portion of the audience.
And that's
whereas
and that's where the Bucks specialize in, is that kind of
whereas we can go to last night, I feel like we get like a much more general, like shooty type of issue, like being Sheamus's weight, right? Even though I don't give a crap. That first,
he did not have to respond to that. He really didn't.
It wasn't even that. It's just like it was clearly a doctored photo. Yeah. The first one, because like last night, like you can still see his abs peeking out.
Absolutely.
Dude's like
he's
right
in better
there.
shape than I am. He's better shape than any of us.
He's right there. Like, yeah. That's the thing. But like,
he's not as good as he used to look. But he had a hell of an injury.
But no, like I thought that was pretty poignant how they brought that up and kind of worked it in. Just because like it's like it's acknowledging it, but like it's like a different way. Like it's like I feel like WWE is like taking something with it, and they're gonna like just take a story that like was given to them by like like the universe, and they're gonna run with it. Whereas like AEW is clearly they clearly forced that issue with the footage. Like I feel like. To me, I just feel like WWE's better at like taking the ball and running with it at this point.
I think it was reactive to, because AEW received a lot of like jabs during the press week for Mania. They very clearly did. But again, that's. You're going to root for your team. You're going to tell them why you're the best place to work.
It's the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's a Super Bowl. It's what you do. And
not everybody can be Marshawn Lynch and only be happy to be there.
But the NFL isn't putting down other actually, they work with everything. So, but, also the NFL doesn't have someplace else anybody would rather be. That's the pinnacle.
You mean to tell me that not everybody wants to go to the UFL right now? What?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sorry to tell you. And absolutely, like WWE is the they're like, oh, if you're not here, you're not good enough to be here. Which I fight that. I'm like, if you're not there, you are not compatible. It does not mean you're a bad wrestler. It just means you are not a WWE wrestler. right? And that's okay, and that is absolutely okay. There's a reason Edge, voluntarily left to go to AEW, or a Bryan Danielson or other wrestlers, and there's plenty of wrestlers at AEW who are like, I can actually do a lot more over there at WWE. Sure, especially under the new management. And then that's the thing. Things have changed in the last year or so, right? And that leads to the story I was talking about. It's come up on my feed several times during the week, talking about that shift in company culture. And again, this is still, I think, waves from the Triple H Paul Levesque era.
You gotta wonder if he was booking the main roster during the quote unquote Wednesday Night Wars, if the ratings would have been different if it was like Monday Night Raw on Wednesday as opposed to NXT.
Well, sure, that's like, that's what that is. I mean, you're dealing with top versus your upstarts. At that
I know,
point.
but I'm just.
But
saying,
anyways,
like,
but the whole point is, they talk about how there's nobody's like worried about getting fired out of nowhere. For one thing,
I mean, there were still a bunch of releases though.
Sure. We'll get to those. But that's your releases. That's your thought over things or whatever. You have to do that. You got to trim the dead weight at some point that people aren't working with the current system, whatever that is. But it's not probably not as mysterious as it used to be, because people are getting let go, and then Triple H is literally putting a phone call and bringing them back. That shows me a disconnect between creative and what's happening on the business side, and hopefully they're a little better with that now. And again, I haven't really digested the list, seen the full list or anything. I know Jinder Mahal, of course. Jinder Mahal, I think, is somebody who's going to do tremendous on his own for a bit and come back like Drew. But anyways, so there's that kind of thing, and how there's the freedom of things, and there's actually like performance reviews, of what the people can improve on beyond anything else. And I think that's what makes sense, and the allowed to experiment, and it's okay if things mess up, Geez, I've heard this conversation around independent promotions in the area, oh, hey, this is not a part where we'll yell at you if you messed up. Because there's people in local promotions that are like, will scream their heads off if you mess something up in a match or something like that, from what I understand third hand.
I feel attacked.
You feel attacked? You feel attacked? Why do you feel attacked, George?
No reason.
I don't know. Why? What are you mad about?
I don't know.
Are you mad at a show? I don't know what this is about.
Stop it.
I've never seen you upset at a show.
You stop it.
You've never seen me upset at a show. No, yes. Hopefully I'm not mad at you unless you've done something truly stupid.
Which is usually pretty good, because I'm usually good about keeping my butt out of your way.
Yeah. So listen, there is a ref's butt will inevitably always get in my way. Even the most professional of referees.
But mine isn't magnetic like the others are.
I'm like, why is this New Japan ref in my way? Like this kind of thing.
Was it the tall one?
I don't remember. It was like a year ago, and there were a lot of other problems happening. But anyways, so just had to catch it up. Oh, there's a ball game heat going on with the Seahawks in the chat room apparently right now. Anyways, but again, and I think that that company culture thing, I think, shines through. It's one of the refreshing things when AEW started to now, and now we're seeing it at WWE. So now you add that looseness to the machine that WWE is, because that's one thing AEW will never ever be able to beat. They're going to need another 10 years to figure it out, how to be that media live event pushing building machine that WWE is. Nobody does it better on that side, or production, anything like that. But that doesn't mean AEW is worse. They're just greener. They are their own NXT as far as their events go. So nothing? No? Another thing about company culture here.
I mean, company culture.
I got a story. Did you think you're going to hear the letters FTC on this show? But apparently this was coming down, and everybody's saying, what does this mean for wrestling? The FTC, Lena Khan, Lena? Is it Lena? Yeah, Lena Khan, the chair of the FTC, who's a name that comes up in a lot of the tech podcasts that I listen to, that are not this show. But
That's for
apparently,
intellectual property.
I feel like I'm doing
folks.
the Awesome Cast right now.
Oh, she was on the Daily Show a little bit.
She was
ago.
on the Daily Show.
Yeah, she gave a really good
she's
interview.
Taking tasks, Apple and Google and all of them for what they've been doing. U.S. The most constructive FTC I feel like we've had in 30 years. Maybe 40. U.S. bans non-compete agreements for nearly all jobs. I don't know what the nearly is, but yeah. So that is, I believe that is a ruling. I think that is in effect, barring the inevitable lawsuits from companies that are not happy with that, which could include TKO. But yeah. So as we know, the wrestlers at WWE, AEW, most professional wrestling groups are under contract, but as contractors. Therefore, a lot of things like, healthcare benefits, other things that we enjoy, not we, I'm independent, which means I'm screwed.
Lol.
Yes. But, what does that mean for that? I think the 90-day, hey, some people just got let go. Let's see how this is affected with their usual 90-day no-compete period.
So I think what they said, like, what'll probably happen.
And none of us are experts in this, by
Yeah,
the way.
I mean, yeah, but what'll probably happen if I had to guess, they'll probably honor all the they'll probably honor a lot of the ones that were like still happening, but they're probably not going to be enforceable anymore. Like it'll probably be some kind of grandfathering in bullshit.
Maybe.
The trouble with them is like really be like what really defines is, if you can't tell, I have a law degree. Lol. Just the biggest issue with it's just defining their geographic scope is always like a big issue, especially now, considering that you can work remotely damn near anywhere with a lot of jobs.
And kind of, and God, I feel like we're turning to our podcast here. Some of the quotes here is we heard employees who, because of non-competes, were stuck in abusive workplaces. One person noted that an employer merged with an organization whose religious principles conflicted with their own. Non-compete kept the worker locked into the place and was unable to freely switch to a job that didn't conflict with their religious practices. Okay, that's a major thing. But point of the basic reality of they're robbing people. If you have non-compete, you're if you have a specialized, I'm a media producer that makes that. Well, I literally had a non-compete for doing safety videos for a period. And who's going to hire me that isn't doing safety videos, right? Like, that's my skill set that I was doing for 7 years. So it was very, very difficult for me to find another job. The 2-month notice was also difficult. That I had in my contract. It's 14 years. I can talk about this. Fuck them. But
Well, non-compete doesn't mean NDA.
Oh, I had no fucking NDA that I'm aware of. It locks you in. If it's a very specialized thing that you're like used to, especially something that you make a good bit of money from, how do you slide out of that, and not even like an abusive relationship like this or the religious practice thing, just generally like, how do I get out of this company, and go to another one that's perfectly fit for you, right? It handcuffs you.
I would have run into the same, I could run into the same thing. I run title for a living, and don't get me wrong, like there's not that many title companies. Like that can pay you what you need to be able to
And the biggest thing is, and Tina points this out, it's going to fuck a lot of tech companies, which I think has been what's been under the gun for the FTC. And I think the whole reason that this became an issue is what they've been doing, because I believe a lot of those companies have been sued. So what does this do for WWE, AEW, and the like? I don't entirely know. But I think we'll see. I think we'll know. I think within 3 months we'll start seeing what that means. Right?
Well, in 2 months we'll know what it means.
Yeah, probably in 2 months. Hey, probably next week.
I mean, most of the 30-day NXT non-competes wouldn't even really matter.
I think somebody who's on a list from Friday has been talking to their lawyer today. Most likely. To see if they can show up on another show next week.
Bet you it's not Jerry McDevitt either. It's Vince's lawyer.
Ah.
Yeah.
Is he still active?
I mean, they interviewed him for the downfall of Vince McMahon or whatever.
Did they? He's that one, right?
Yeah.
He was on Wrestling with Shadows?
Probably, yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because I remember them talking about how impressive of a guy he was in general. But yeah, so that's one of the big moves. Could be something, could be nothing. We'll see what happens with that. So, well, hey, want to give a shout out. Could be something. A lot. Could be some pizza in our tummies. Our friends at Slice on Broadway, New York City style. Yins are made. Beachview, Carnegie, East End, North Hills. Down there, South Side works. If you're going to enjoy wrestling's Taco Mania here on May 5th, hey, there's one. If you're getting tired of tacos, they're right on the corner over there.
2 1-hour blocks of wrestling.
That's right. Go check it out. I'll be there drinking beers and sitting ringside and seeing if that lady's going to chop the shit out of David Lawless again. God, she was a wild fan.
She wanted to do a lot more than chop somebody.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Chip, there was a lot to handle. Anyways.
Yes.
Yeah. So go check that out. Our good friend Slice on Broadway supporting this show and others on this network for well over a decade. SliceOnBroadway.com if you're in the greater Pittsburgh area. It's time to find out, what did we learn from wrestling this week? George, you said you had something earlier.
I forgot what
And
it
he
was already.
forgot what he was going to say.
You do yours.
I don't have one. I'm still thinking of mine.
What did I learn? Oh.
Chat room, hit us up. Save us from ourselves. What did I learn? I learned that you know what I'm appreciating? This happened in 2 places. Ashe has a little bit interview area to the left of their stage that we had set up. I think there's some videos over on their Twitter account. And I love RWA is doing that kind of the stage interview thing. I'm loving the flow of this. And it could be bad. It could be terrible if you're not doing it right. But there were so many movements that happened there. And obviously some of those we're trying to still, smooth over with the TV production that we're doing along with it. But there were so many bricks that were laid. So if you're not familiar, when we go live with RWA, part of the free live preview pre-show kind of thing is our friend Jim LaMotta comes out on stage, interviews a few people on the stage. I think between on stage and in the ring with one of the commentators, and that led to literally one of the big pivot points of later in the night. Again, great stuff there, great storytelling, a lot of fun stuff being added to the show through that. I'm literally thinking into my head about how we need to put those interviews on the screens at Ashe, which I'll probably bring up at the meeting tomorrow, which is just going to be more difficulty for me. But anyways, but no, I think that's a really cool thing. That's very additive to something like that. It's more than just a promo in the ring, talking in the ring. It mixes things up a little bit, and kind of diverts people's attention. So that's a live show production element that I've been appreciating here on the in the local levels, the indie levels. Also, I learned that apparently my LinkedIn page is a gateway for referee Sean Patrick to learn about other promotions across the nation. So he complimented me over on LinkedIn. Yes, wrestling is happening on LinkedIn, folks. So shout outs to Sean Patrick. I don't know if he listens to this show, but I know we do see him still a lot, even though he is very retired. But we do see him pop up a lot out of the other shows and enjoying. It's good to see him enjoying himself, right? After all these years in the business, just sitting back and enjoying. I think we saw him at 2PW 880. Things like that. So
he's a frequent attendee on Thursday nights.
Absolutely. So I think he's up in the area, so it makes sense. No, appreciating that. Appreciating the love of wrestling from people in the business too. So because there's just so many that I know the shows that I'm doing and that's it kind of thing. I love that wide awareness and even seeing other people pop out, like things like 880 and other shows that are just not booked, not looking to get booked, but they're just like want to see what's going on with everybody, like that's a cool vibe that was not here 10 years ago for sure across many shows. So anyways, did you come up with yours, sir?
Don't remember. Jeez, oh man. I do know I hate sitting around on the weekends anymore when I'm not booked.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm learning that I like Instagram Reels.
Okay. Yeah, we didn't talk about this. Tell me about your social media endeavors here, because you've been posting a lot of big match Bubby.
It's only because it pops people. That's the whole reason for that. I promise it's not a gimmick.
Okay.
Like,
not going anywhere with that? You sure?
Yeah. It's no one. You have to explain what Bubby is, and that's when you already lose people.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're not from Appalachia, you don't understand the colloquialism. So
I barely understand it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm from the foothills, sir. We don't talk funny over here.
Oh,
I met a dude at the gathering in Toledo back in 2001, and I was talking with him. Like, he kind of had an interesting accent. I'm like, "Where are you from?" He's like, "Pennsylvania." I'm like, "What?" I don't talk like that, Although they spent the weekend in Philly, and now I'm like, "Oh man, they do talk funny over here." Pennsylvania
What
is
were
a
you
weird
going to talk about on
state.
the Patreon again? I feel like what I was going to say was related to the Patreon.
I don't know. But anyways, what you learned was you learned how to do clips and things like that.
I learned where to find screen record on a Google phone like 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
I learned what it was like to not be so much of a boomer.
Yes. I mean, that's the biggest thing. The biggest thing to help any wrestler, promoter, anything to do gifts, clips, anything to promote your shit.
If you don't
if
know,
you're being provided fine video of what you're doing.
At this point, oh yeah, okay, fine. That's what I learned.
There you go.
I learned that
Knew I was
if you're,
gonna get
I
that.
learned that if you're a wrestler and you have access to screen record, you don't ever put your own stuff out there. You're just kind of lazy. Because there's a little
bit of you don't know, but
I know what I'm doing is very cut and dry. It's very
Yes.
I am not that tech savvy. I do not work in tech.
And you don't-
I know how to use an email. I know how to use a VPN. I know how to a general use of the internet. But I'm able to figure out how to do this stuff on my phone with no don't get me wrong. It's more about now it's going to be a matter of figuring out what to post, when to post, etc. It's going to be a whole nother battle. But now that
dude, I've been doing this for decades, and I still kind of just post.
But now
It
that
doesn't
I
matter.
know
It
how to
changes,
do
doesn't
it,
matter.
heck,
Mm-hmm.
it's awesome.
Yes. Learn to put your shit out, especially if you're being provided video. Please, not for yourself. It's not just for me. It's not for yourself.
Yeah, I've got a good one ready to go for when Rob Chase tried to steal the slam burglar. He tried to steal my slam burglar tried to steal my Permani Brothers gift card.
Oh, that was a great
I was
one
on
last
my
week.
free Permani.
That was
sandwich,
$8.80 last week.
and he freaking tried to steal it.
Yes,
I'm
that
thankful
was
that I'm thankful that the rad trash dad dumpster fire himself, Ryan Zane, saved my sandwich.
Toddy lost his wallet that night, something inexplicably. Anyways,
Poor Todd. Some bads always happen to poor Toddy.
I know, right? Jeez,
If it's not his car or some other crap, it's
his
hey.
knee.
Poor
It
guy.
just Toddy's gonna have a good day one of these days, and we'll all be here for it. Okay. 3 things from Tina in Seattle.
All right.
Teenage Dirtbag is universally loved. It came up at I think I saw the footage. I couldn't figure out what it was. It was some concert or something. I'm sure she'll tell me in a moment what it was. I couldn't sort it from kind of on the road checking it out.
Right.
All bow down to the Minion Overlord. Athena is past a 500-day mark as ROH Women's Champion.
I'm
Awesome.
I'm always all about Athena.
And was the main event on Battle of the Belts this past Saturday.
Hell yeah.
2 Saturdays ago. I'm sorry, I watched everything this weekend, so the time is
I
kind of
don't care. To this day, if I booked it, she would have beaten Asuka.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to bring the chat back up so I can read that other one. And also, 2 top champs at WWE and AEW was the first main event of a little-known indie promotion out here. Swerve and... was it Swerve and Cody?
Probably Swerve and Cody.
That sounds... Or maybe Damien. Fill us in.
No, the time frame.
Stop being cagey with me on this,
The
Tina.
time frame's right. Cody would have been
Could be.
on the Indies at that point.
Mad One Learn, there has to be a sign up for who gets to do a weekly walk and talk on Raw or SmackDown each week now. Yeah, probably.
I just hope they don't abuse it and it's not special anymore.
I think I like that it leads into the main event. I think it's been fantastic for memes. I love the one of Jay and Sammy looking up and they just showed the wall from WCW. It's great meme work, So there's that. Swerve versus Cody confirmed. So
Was it Defy or Prestige?
it was Defy's first show. She's on top of it. Oh, jeez. Guys, referee George Ross, where's those social medias again?
Just Ref George Ross on Facebook or Big Match Bubby on Instagram.
Big Match Bubby.
Bubby is spelled with a Y, by the way.
Bubby.
Some people like to use an I, I'm finding out.
Bye-bye. So it's like when I found out It's when Rick Bocchini told me I'm selling indie wrestling wrong. That's how they spell it.
That's
in
why I put
Pittsburgh.
the hashtag indie wrestling and independent wrestling.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was missing. Well, listen, that's how they spelled it in a very local thing that we all hated back in the day here in the Pittsburgh area. So that's what I was going off of. So there's that. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. This has been your Wrestling Mayhem show. I will be in California this weekend. So if there's anything wrestling related, and I'm going to be very north of LA, in Santa Clarita area, Valencia area, and then the desert. So if there's anything you think I should be checking out there, I know there's a new Toys R Us that opened in Burbank. I'm just seeing somebody light up at that, hopefully. So, yeah, I saw that.
Point Sorg to the nearest Oasis, everybody.
I don't know. I saw a post that didn't show anything inside. It says a new standalone Toys R Us store. I walked by the one at Macy's at the one store, and it was disappointing as fuck. Anyways, yeah, thank you. Again, visual cues over here off camera. So, from our Toys R Us expert. And but no, it said it has 90s toys or something in it. It didn't really show inside. It's just one of those stupid things that came up on my feed. So now I'm interested, and I have maybe a couple of hours to check it out on my way to my hotel. I got to see if it's on the way or not here on Thursday. So, and if anybody's got any tips about what to check out at Six Flags Magic Mountain out there, let me know. I think there's a Batman and Riddler roller coaster, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't been to a Six Flags in 20 years. Jogga Lake was the only one. So
You're saying it's a Riddler coaster.
I think it's a Riddler coaster.
Haha.
What?
Well, I made a joke.
Was that a joke?
It's a pun, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Riddler kind of sounds like roller. Not really, but.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I don't even have kids that
Okay.
make dad jokes. Look at that.
Well,
Well, bam.
Anyways, an awesome cast where I talk about how I was Star Wars dad last Tuesday for Dutters and our other friend that was dressed up, because I was the only one without a costume. So I didn't buy one because I couldn't figure out how to get my lightsaber pack to take out to California for Star Wars night. So I just I got a T-shirt. So we're not making that mistake again. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. Patreon, of course, we're going to have something special here. I have what pissed me off in wrestling this weekend, and I might give you a secret about SmackDown. That I learned about. So we'll see. We'll see you guys next time. Next week. Oh, programming note. We are going to, and this is probably news to our co-hosts too, that hopefully show up. We are going to try to do the show Wednesday. And usually when we do Wednesdays, we do it past 10 o'clock to make sure we're after AEW. We may have special guests that may stick around that night. I don't know. We're doing something in the studio here for one of my clients, so I don't know if they'll stick around. I know they recently got beat up by Gannon Jones Jr. a few months ago, so we'll see what happens there. Guys, thank you so much. We'll see you guys next time. Until then, I almost said stay mayhemy. That's wrong. Thank you. Until next time, Mayhem out.
Just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't give up what you want, take it back. Wait for the perfect time, then attack.
This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast.